road course racing for the final time in the 2012 season from the Moon Speedway Road Course on an exciting day of points racing. For the Three Rivers _RC 250, Steve Brown leading the points, Bill Steinbach trying to tie him up in this race, and Chad Lindberner trying to make some major headway as he now has a legitimate chance at becoming the 2012 champion. We'll see after an exciting day of road course racing how this all shapes out. Check out our Twitter for the latest mid-race updates. In today's feature event, we have Bill Steinbach on the pole, the points leader Steve Brown in second, and in third place, Chad Lindberner. Get ready for some rough and ready left and right turns. And the green flag flies. Bill Steinbach, the early leader. Chad Lindberner spins out in turn number 2. He will fall back to third place as both the leaders wreck over in the S's. Headed towards turn number 6, Chad Lindberner with a big flip. Lands on his wheels, it looks like. Steve Brown rolls on in second, but that wreck was bad enough to cause a caution. Let's check it out again. In turn 6, you can see him get up into the marbles and the loose stuff and simply flips that Plymouth over.
Yeah, it was coming from turn 5 into turn 6 when that happened there. And we're already under green flag conditions on lap 3 right now. Brown falls back to third place, but Steinbach has a lot of trouble, and that'll give Brown first place as Lindberner also having trouble, and they're bouncing through the S's, those cracks in the speedway there. The angle that this track is on is really detrimental to them. As we continue on rolling. Lap 5, here we go. Brown is in first place. You can see second Lindberner, and then third place Steinbach, who's fishtailing all the way down through those large tires.
Chad Lindberner with a small incident over in turn number 6. He'll be able to hold on to second place, but possibly not for long. As Bill Steinbach had just stolen that spot from him, Steve Brown is still the leader of this race. He gets loose out of turn number 6 and wrecks on the main straightaway. He will surrender the lead to that Chevy of Bill Steinbach. Chad comes around and he is still stuck on the white tire barriers. And the officials will deem that a caution flag. Here it is again, out of turn number 6. You can see it looks like his steering may have locked to the left. No control over that Mustang. Green flag is back in the air, 3 wide towards turn number 1. Steve Brown is upside down. He'll continue rolling. Back in third position. Chad Lindberner is in second now, and Bill Steinbach is the leader. Chad places his car back on the speedway right in the middle of the S's, almost a lap down to Bill Steinbach. Lap 10.
He got underneath those tires, and his Plymouth could not move after that. Looks like reverse is cut out on that car late in the season here. The gear's broken, or it's just not working today, or it's working sparingly. And you can see the other two drivers having some trouble and actually technically helping Lindberner out. And look at these. The car's dying here in turn number 2 and 3. Both Lindberner and Steinbach having reception problems now on this race. And that's going to wave a yellow flag. The officials are saying, we got to stop this. We got to see what's going on here. Look at this. They both just die there. And Lindberner's being pushed by Steinbach when he does get reception.
Green flag is waving once again down the second straightaway. Through turn number 3 into 4. Through 5 down into turn number 6. Steve Brown takes the lead away from Bill Steinbach as Chad Lindberner goes for a little bit of a ride outside of the track. Action is calming down as the drivers are all spread out evenly over this course.
Off-roading today. And they're still traveling as Brown takes a hard wide turn and then a hard lick into that tire wall. He continues on moving, and we finally have a yellow flag here on lap 14 as the cars get too spread out there, and during a wreck that caused a caution. Remember, you have to fall 3/4 of a lap down after a wreck to cause a caution here. Lindberner's in the middle lane. That Mustang of Brown is on the outside lane at 56. That gold and black paint scheme there. Looks like Steinbach gave Lindberner a bit of a bump, and look at Brown hitting the outside wall of that turn once again. That's the second time he's done that all day, and he's disoriented now. Look at him running out to fix his car, much like Lindberner did a few laps earlier, and he's leading this race. Lindberner is actually now.
That might not last for long as a yellow flag waves on lap 16. You can see down in turn number 6, Steve Brown with quite an expensive-looking flip. That Mustang received some heavy damage when the wheel fell off that vehicle. Green flag is back in the air. Single file towards turn 2.
You got to remember, last race we had at this track, Brown's wheel also fell off again. Thankfully, that's an easy fix for these cars. It's only held on by a pin, and he put it back on, and he's actually leading this race now. That wheel is still very loose, though, and you can see his steering is not exactly what it should be.
But with his steering issues, he can still hold on to the lead. Chad in second, Bill Steinbach back to third place. Steve with quite the lead over this field. And he'll get up into the Goodyear tire in turn number 1. Lose a lot of that lead to the back of this pack, but he's able to regain it with the power of that Ford.
Steinbach is having really good corners there as he's going around this track, a lot better than Limburner, and that's when he took second place. And we can see Limburner's reverse gear not working again in this event.
You can see in turn number 2, he is stuck on the end of the tire barrier there. No reverse on that Plymouth. For this restart, he'll be on the bottom lane. Steve will be forced to take the outside.
Thankfully, Brown wrecked right as it was becoming 3/4 of a lap. Thankfully for Limburner, I mean. We saw Brown hitting the post there coming out of turn number 1 and having a lot of trouble, and that caused the caution. They were too wide coming into the S's, and that settled down, pushing Brown outside of the speedway. He gets back in. Limburner has a lot of trouble, almost surrendering the lead, and he'll do so as both other drivers cut to the inside of the track there coming out of turn 3.
Bill Steinbach leading the race, 5 laps remaining from the Moon Speedway road course, and it's a whale of a battle for the lead up front between Ford and Chevy. Bill Steinbach has the advantage over Steve Brown, and so does Limburner, as Steve gets into one of the outside retaining walls. Limburner was trying to catch up to Bill Steinbach there, hurt himself as having a lick on the tire barrier there. Bill Steinbach still in the lead. Rounding the final corner, Limburner, then Brown.
Now this sets up a championship hunt, this race. Very detrimental to the winner today. Whoever can win this race really puts himself in a great position to win the championship. Even Limburner, who's behind, this race allows him a chance to catch up as we see Steinbach upside down, hitting the post here as they continue moving, but now there's finally a yellow flag here on lap 28. An instant replay. What happened to Steinbach here, excuse me.
On the outside of turn number 1, lost control of that Chevy, went a little bit too wide. You can see there's a dip in the pavement and the post that he ran into, causing that Chevy to flip over. And it's going to be quite the fight for the lead. Bill Steinbach falls back to third position, getting into the retaining wall. Steve Brown is up front. Some confusion on the speedway between the 3 competitors. The final lap, the white flag is out, and Steve Brown has this one in the bag as long as he doesn't make a mistake. Coming out in the final corner, he will cross the line victorious. Bill Steinbach in reverse without the front bumper, and then Chad Limburner in second place as Steinbach still has another lap.
Yeah, his front bumper fell off on that entire that flip of his there in turn number 1 coming out of it. That's when his front bumper fell off, and he will finish in third in a DNF. He never actually went around for that final lap, but it still gets third place points because he passed lap 20 in this event.
An exciting day and a crucial day of racing. The next time you see us here for the final 4 events of the season will be from the Moon Speedway. So get ready for some rough and ready racing.